gosh, we actually have.
You look beautiful.
Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, welcome to Zoom In. And tonight we're going to totally zoom in on you and all the wonderful, wonderful things you're doing. Um, First of all, just right off the bat, how are you? You look great. Can you hear?
I'm wonderful.
Are you in Los Angeles or
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you in LA or are you?
No, I am in Colorado.
Okay.
I'm in Colorado.
Huh?
And I travel to, let me make sure I'm going to close out of this stuff. I travel to Vegas quite often. I was just in Los Angeles. I even went to Germany this year during the pandemic. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
I've been kind of all over the place.
When I learned you speak German, I was blown away. Is that something you've always known how to do, or did you recently learn German, or
how? No, my family moved when I was 11. And we went to German schools, and actually my parents still live there. My little sister still lives there. So I started school knowing like 2 words and just had to kind of pick it up. But it sticks.
And, now, and you can also translate German, right? Is that something else you've done to translate?
Yes.
Okay, I might have a job for you. I know someone who has a script in German.
I'll take it.
Translator, so I'll have to introduce you. But when I was reading that, I'm like, wow, this woman is multi-talented. And I'm like, you blow me away. Just like you, what don't you do? You know, you're a dancer, choreographer, actor, producer, director. You make magic happen, which brings me to this film festival you're doing, Miracle Makers. How did you come up to do Miracle Makers?
Well, I think I've been thinking about Miracle Makers as kind of my brand, I don't know how many years. And I ultimately kind of wanted a production company, which I've still been working towards. And then Del Weston offered me this opportunity. And, you know, attending AOF, who is our partner for our fest and hosting our fest along with 15 other incredible fests, as you know. I attended that fest kind of on a whim, and it was truly a miracle kind of event in my life, that the things that it has launched, the opportunities it's created, has just been what you dream and pray for. And so that's what I kind of want to recreate for people who attend and submit to Miracle Makers, is to kind of in the same way facilitate giving people an opportunity that may be praying for an opportunity that that is similar to what I experienced. So that's at the heart of this festival.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. So what kind of genres are you looking for? Or are you looking for a specific genre, or pretty much whatever comes from the heart, or to let people know?
Yeah, I think it's easy to assume that it's maybe a faith-based festival, and really we are open to all genres. We really are interested in what makes you believe. So we want to see work that expresses what inspires you, what you pour your heart into, and it's really about you as opposed to us. And we are accepting not just films, you know, we're accepting short films, feature films. We're accepting, some of my favorite categories are poster art, storyboards, illustrations. We have a special category for books. We have written word. I already have a submission from a poet who has also filmed her poetry. We definitely are special in that dance is a very big part of our festival. And it's definitely a big part of my life. So I have some amazing dancers that I'm connected with, and we're receiving dance films and choreography. We're even accepting reels, you know, again, and I just had a conversation with a friend the other day, and he's submitting some experimental animation.
Oh, wonderful.
He's also going to submit his record, his album. And he was like, you know, do you think that you should maybe focus in more specifically? And then he kind of stepped back and he said, you know, I think I realize what you're doing is you're really just trying to give a platform to all these different kinds of artists. And that's definitely what it's about.
Well, there are so many different types of artists. And one of the things I love about you is you're so multifaceted, but you're still so creative in everything you do. From dancing, you know, literally everything. You're just so full of this vibrancy of creativity. And when you go for something, you follow through. So to create a film festival that is offering opportunities for other artists, no matter what they are, dancers, writers, filmmakers, you're giving them a platform to all come together. Now, knowing you have no problem going up to people and talking to them. I really want to give people a chance to get to know you. So when they go to the festival, what's the best way someone can approach you? Because I know sometimes that can be so intimidating. But you want to talk to them and say, hey, I submitted this film, I did this, you know, script. Hi. You know, most people are like, how can people come up to you and talk to you? Is that okay?
I am also, oh yes, you know me. That's my favorite thing in life. I'm also the first lady of the AOF, which again, Action on Film Festival is our Mega Fest is our host. And before I even got this honor of having my own festival, I was asked to be the first lady of the AOF, which really came about from my first just attending the fest and just me being me and making friends and admiring other people's work. That's kind of my calling card is just wanting to connect with people. So you'll be able to find me. I'll probably be required to wear a tiara. And I think we're supposed to have scepters.
White people.
I'll be, I'm sure, real dressed up. Definitely not. But yeah, I'll be around, and I mean, that's really what this is about, is connecting to people and also connecting people to other people. You know, I think that's part of why I didn't only just pursue acting or being a performer. I want to work with others and bring other people together.
That I think AOF Film Festival does do that. The Mega Fest, it really does bring people together. Now, you did a movie with Dell because of your meeting at AOF in 2019. And do you want to share how that came about? Because that's so exciting. Did you have any?
Well, you were in it too.
No, that's why it was so exciting. But it literally came about because Dell met you. You showed kindness, and there was this connection of you two. Like, I want to say it's like almost, you know, when you first meet somebody and it's like you already know them. You know what I mean? And it seems like when you two met, it's like you guys weren't strangers. It's like you were already like soul family. You know what I mean? And so, and it wasn't long after that you started working on Old King Cole, right? Or was there a considerable amount of time?
Right.
And it highlighted you.
So actually, I starred as in a film called Final Transit by Richard Benter here in the Colorado area. I actually just signed a contract today he's doing another film, and he's asked me to play a lead role in his new film. So that's happening. So I got to thank him. His film got into AOF, and I just had this feeling about AOF, like I have to be there, and I have to be there the whole week, and I have to go to every seminar and every event that I possibly can and screening, and just soak it up, because it's such a wonderful opportunity. And I guess Del kind of noticed me, and then we stayed in touch. He invited me for an interview on his show, Interius, with Del Weston. And then he asked me to be the first lady of the AOF. And then COVID came, and the festival for 2020 was canceled.
It was online.
So he said,
right? No, was it entirely canceled, or they did?
Well, it was postponed. So actually, another really cool thing about this year is that it's technically 2020 and 2021. So everyone who submitted and was going to participate, Del really didn't want to, keep them from the full experience.
Right.
So now we're going to have a Mega Fest.
Double the fun.
Yeah, right. It's going to be so incredible. And we ended up making a feature film in its place. And it was a complete dream role.
Yeah, will the film be showing at AOF? Old King Cole? It will be hearing there, right? Hopefully. Any word?
That's kind of up in the air. Okay. We will, I think, yes, I think that it probably will, but it's also, up for a lot of different avenues of how we're going to go about it. So that's kind of news to come.
Okay, just stay tuned. Okay, well, the trailer looks amazing. It looks so beautiful in it. And the trailer is very exciting. So I can't wait to see it. It'll be very exciting. All right, so
you look amazing in trailer.
So you have these movies coming up. How about you as a producer outside of the film festival? What's on your dance card?
I am traveling to Tulsa, Oklahoma, in a matter of just a few weeks. There is an original musical that I actually starred in high school that was written about the Greenwood, the Tulsa race massacre. So the worst race riot in American history occurred in 1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Oh, wow. And Lojo Works is the company, the production company. And these are people I worked with for many, many years, wrote an original musical about the story that is just one of the most incredible works I've ever witnessed or been a part of. Wow. They are now wanting to do a mini series, so on film, taking it from the stage to the film. And I've been asked to be a producer on it, and we are producing the demo this May. And then that will be to raise money for the actual series. And the centennial, the anniversary of this massacre is actually this year, 2021. Wow. So it's probably one of the most significant, important projects that I get to be a part of, and I'll be production managing it and producing it. So that's coming up really quick.
How exciting. Have you read the scripts? Is that something that you've already done and you're just kind of putting all together for like a season?
We did it. Yes, we did. We did a long run of it when I was in high school. It has definitely evolved over the years, and this demo is just kind of of little snippets. But we have insane, we've got some Broadway talent. We've just got the best of the best. So it's definitely something else, and it's something that is important, I think, for the world to really see this story.
Wow, that sounds really incredible. What is the title of it again? What will the title of the series be?
It's called A Song of Greenwood.
A Song of Greenwood. Okay, good things happening. What can you imagine being out on set for 10 episodes and you're calling the shots to the producer, and that'd be so exciting. I see really great things happening for you. You are so inspiring. When you get something going on, you just go for it. You put your whole heart and soul into it, and that's so exciting to see someone do that. There's no pretense. It's just pure, authentic Erin Miracle making it happen, and that is inspiring. It really is. All right, so if you could add anything else to your list, what would that be? If someone said to you, okay, Erin, what else do you want?
I am in the middle of also doing a documentary about my father and his dementia. And he's been such a mentor. I kind of credit him for inspiring me to want to be in movies in the first place. And we have literally thousands of hours of home videos that he filmed. And he was sort of a director, unintentionally, and a filmmaker, and probably the greatest storyteller I know. And as his dementia progresses, that ability to tell stories is diminishing. And I just want to honor his life and his story. So that is top of my list. It's already in production, and that's why I was in Germany this last October starting to film.
Does your father live in Germany or in Oklahoma?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he lives in Oklahoma?
No, my mother and father still live in Germany.
Can I ask which part? Where in Germany? Or
they live in Ramstein. It's about 30 minutes from France, so it's right on the French border.
Okay. Well, I'll definitely have to introduce you to my friend in Switzerland who is looking for a German translator for a script. So that he may be a really good contact for you, especially if you're going to be in Germany. Well, so
you should definitely actually talk to Annabelle. I would talk to Annabelle about translating that script, because she's obviously amazing at everything, and she's German, so she'd be better than me.
I can't say enough praise about you. I'm just very proud of you and very inspired by you. And when you put your mind to something, you do it. And your documentary sounds amazing, because so many people are affected by a family member with dementia. And how do you cope with it? How do you still love, be that love heart space when something like that happens? So a documentary sounds absolutely beautiful. So when do you think you'll be done with that one? Is that something you hope to have done soon?
My editor, the editor I'm working with is kind of more than just an editor. She is very, very dedicated to this project. And she kind of wants us to take our time. So we're probably going to work on this for at least a year, if not more. Okay. And I think that his story and this process, is worth that time. And actually, we have somebody here joining us, David. He's also an inspiring artist. He plays chess online with my dad almost every single day.
Wow.
And he's probably like my dad's favorite child now. their relationship is incredible. So I just had to give a shout out to him because he is a tremendous artist and person and inspiration, and he also is a great person to know as far as for what we do. He's a networker and promotes artists with Arts Earth, and yeah, I'm really glad he's here.
I think that's wonderful. Well, with modern technology and the way we can so easily share, like, look, you're in a completely different state, time difference even. So in a way, we're time traveling. It's so important to be able to access this technology to learn about other people, because there's so many talented people out there, and we can all come together and do these amazing collaborative projects that benefit everyone. So I think it's wonderful. And to be able to play chess with your dad, I mean, that's great for the brain, just keep those muscles
Yes.
going. So that's great.
I'm so grateful. And I'm so grateful for this ability to connect, but this ability to connect at this film festival, especially after the year that we've all had. And it's not just my film festival. It's 15 different ones,
right,
that all offer different things and are going to attract different people. It's truly one of those events. I mean, it's launched my career, the connections that I've made. And I really want to encourage people to kind of understand what this opportunity is and how unique it is, even to other festivals. There's just no place I've been quite like it. And this year is going to be times a million. And it's not about us. It's really about us giving an opportunity for these other artists to find
a platform,
just completely different platform. Exactly.
and to meet other like-minded creatives who want to do the same thing, whether it's writing a script, producing, directing, and you never know who you're going to meet. Now it's going to be in Vegas. Now, do you plan on being in Vegas that whole week, or are you going to show up a few days before and stay a few days after? Right, probably.
Yes, I will definitely be there before. I think I might even be working on a short film before. There's so much to do, and I'm about to be in Vegas at the end of this month. So yes, I'll be there in Vegas for probably two weeks or more around the festival.
Now you'll be able to. It's going to be at the Galaxy Theaters, right? So you'll be able to actually screen the movies that. How is that going to work? That are accepted in, or they're nominated. How will you be doing that?
We have, I don't know how many, we have a large amount of theaters that we've already rented out, and they're luxury theaters, like, the reclining seats, and they're just the dreamiest. We actually shot a scene in Old King Cole in one of the theaters, which even that alone is pretty exciting, that we're finally able to get back into movie theaters. And we will have 3 days of screenings.
Okay.
And I will screen as many films as I have time for, which we really have a lot of time. We will also be having seminars. I'm definitely going to be having a seminar with one of the focuses, and also one of my categories is content creators. So the respect and admiration and appreciation I have for someone like you, or some of my other friends who are creating their own content like this, and how that is changed and how that is evolving. I even have goosebumps. I am just so proud of those people and admire them and want to honor them. So that's a big category in my festival that people can submit. I already have 2 people lined up that have quite a large following that I'll announce officially pretty soon, that create specifically really comedic stuff on TikTok or YouTube. And they work so hard. I know this takes so much work, and it brings a lot of people joy. I mean, all those content creators really brought me a lot of joy, especially during this pandemic. So one of my seminars will be devoted to that, to not only honoring these people, but also hearing how they go about it and how they've become successful, and providing an opportunity for people who attend the seminar to maybe grow their own content creation.
Right. And you just
and we'll have panels.
Oh, go ahead. Panels. What else? What other panels?
Oh, we'll have panels. We'll have red carpets, which is like my favorite thing ever.
I get dressed up.
We have awards. I love to get dressed up. We'll have press. I think we'll have Getty Images there. You know, and that's with especially like my film student friends or new and upcoming artists. To be on the red carpet is a really big tool.
It's so much fun, and you're giving them the opportunity to be part of something that can really expand their, to easily expand their careers, and you just meet one person and it changes everything, and then you meet someone after that, and it is exciting just to be in that energy too, because you're right, because this past year has been so heavy with rules and regulations, and you can't do this and you can't do that. But to be in that creative flow where you can create from your heart and from your soul, and just meet other people who want to make that happen, it shifts that energy. So everyone's in such a better mood, they're excited. And I think that's when creativity really flows, when you're in that zone. And it's great that you're going to be part of it. You're going to, it's like you're supporting people to be their creative selves. It's like, get out of that shell, come on, let's go. And I think it's great that you have something like TikTok on it too, because TikTok is everywhere. And to constantly come up with new content, you have to be in that creative space. And some of these kids, I feel so old because they are just like so like, wow, how do you come up with that? So
they are. It is.
Right. So where would you like to see it go? This will be your first year, which is so exciting. How would you like to see it grow? What are your plans for this baby?
This baby, I feel like I want to raise for the rest of my whole life. It is, it wasn't in my plan, but it suits my plan. You know how God works? I wanted to have a production company, which is its own thing, but to have a platform to just build up other artists and help launch their careers or help move their careers forward is something that I would like to do the rest of my life, to be honest. And I'm also really closely partnered with First Frame International Film Festival. So that is another festival that's with Rob Margolis and Jessica Carollo. And they also have a company called Develop Your Film. And their prizes and what they're offering, really Rob is in this to find movies that have been produced and get them distributed, to find screenwriters that have written amazing screenplays and get them produced. I mean, this guy is looking to make it happen like right now and fund these projects. So I'm looking to use this opportunity to not just help artists, but to partner with some of these other incredible people that are hosting their own, and other festival directors, and work with them to not just make the connections, but then get the product produced, get it distributed, take it all the way.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about, making it happen. And you are doing it, and to help someone else do it. And that's what it's all about, right? It's never just about one person. And I think people lose sight of that because life is such a collaborative effort. So when you make that intentional effort to put it out there, to help someone else or offer an opportunity for them to jump into, I mean, that's everything. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so glad you're doing this. And I know Del Weston, that seems to be what he does, because he's all about everyone being part of it. And he gets the most wonderful people on his team. This is so wonderful.
And I can't explain enough to the audience. There's just it's such a rare experience, Del being the director, kind of the man behind all of this. In my experience in Hollywood, especially, um, just so much betrayal or opportunities that fell through, or disappointment, that got my guard up and made me kind of wary of opportunities, which is so tragic.
Right.
And I can't stress enough how unique
Mhm.
the spirit and the heart of not just my festival, but AOF and everything connected to it is. It's unlike anything I've ever come across. And the proof is in the pudding. You know,
Right.
we were in an incredible feature film. Um, there's just these promises are made by him, and these opportunities are promised through this mega fest, but they're not empty. They're about as full as it gets. So, and it takes faith
Right.
to to put your work out there, or to, after having been hurt or rejected
Mhm.
a billion times, then it's like, really, again, am I going to put myself through this? And I hope that Miracle Makers especially is that encouragement to say, no matter how many times you've been rejected or how ignored you've been, we want to notice you, and we want to pour our faith into what you're doing, so that you can just take off in flight.
So in a way, I feel like AOF Mega Fest, what they're doing by bringing all these different people together, is really shifting Hollywood, because we've been hearing so many negative things come out, especially the last few months, like Harvey Weinstein and that whole long list, of people being abused or having to sell their soul in order to get that big part, or to do this or to do that. And it really loses the integrity of the person's soul who wants to do something so much, so badly. It's just such a part of them. And what I have experienced with AOF, it feels like a very safe environment, because it's not about quid pro quo. It's about, what's your talent? What's your passion? Are you doing this heart based? Are you doing this because you can't do anything else and you're so, you have to do it? But it's like you get into that creativity space with other creatives, and it's about, okay, how can we get ego out of the way and keep to the true art of this. Now, okay, I can't say that about all people, because I don't know everyone is part of AOF Megafest, but that's the sense I get, that it's like there is no, if I give you this, you do this. It's purely on talent and who you are as a person. And to me, that is, we need more of that. And so if we can get more people to be part of this and really show, okay, Hollywood, this is how it's done, we can change Hollywood. We can make a new Hollywood with integrity, and people doing what they say they're going to do, and make passion projects that are going to be meaningful and interesting and exciting and still make money. So that's where I see AOF Megafest doing. And
Yeah, I don't even feel like we don't really need Hollywood. I
right.
mean, we're filmmakers, and Miracle Makers is about empowering people to understand what our God-given power is. We have all this power to create, and the world is shifting with these content creators, with this shift away from the major studios into our hands. And people really want to hear other people's stories, and it doesn't have to be the biggest budget in the world. And I do know, every single one of the directors of all of the different festivals, and every single one of them is offering, we're going to have like 50 seminars in total. If you are accepted into my festival or any festival, you get $750 pass for free that will allow you to access all of the good stuff. And that's huge. That's not even just an award. That's if you're accepted into the festival, you have this value of a pass to come and get the most out of mine, then to get the most out of what Annabelle Monroe with the Most Important Film Festival is offering, what Lorene with Las Vegas Asian Film Awards is offering, what Amy Lee McCorkle with Conquering Disabilities with Film. These are artists who have devoted their lives and their creativity to blessing the world and really highlighting other artists with that same quality.
So this is an opportunity of a lifetime for any filmmaker and screenwriter, actor. I'd even say actors should go, because actors, even if you're not in a film, it's an opportunity to meet someone who can put you in a film. So when is the deadline to submit?
Yeah, I was an actor.
Right. Well, you still are.
We have several deadlines. I know, but that's what I did. I literally just went, as an actor, and the rest of the team for my film stayed, I don't know, maybe one day. I stayed the whole week. I camped out. I went to every single event. Just as an actor, you don't even have to have anything in the festival to benefit from it. We are going to we'll have networking events. We actually, DJ Beef Stew, and he's got his new festival, which is the New Cinema Film and Music Festival. We're going to have a big music dance party. So I don't know how long it's been since you went dancing, but it's been a really long time for me. So you could even just show up and dance if you want.
That is so exciting.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Wow. Okay. So what is the absolute deadline for anyone to submit to your festival? Is that June or July?
July 5th. July 5th is the extended deadline.
Okay.
So July 5th. And the notifications go out the 12th.
Okay.
Currently, we're in the regular deadline stage, which is till the 25th of May. Okay. So as just to let you guys know, as the deadlines get closer, the price will go up. But we are Miracle Makers is the permanent home of the $35 student fee, because again, just up and coming filmmakers, student filmmakers are so important to me. No matter how the deadlines change, student filmmakers will always have that flat rate fee, no matter what. And Film Freeway, whether you're a filmmaker or a poet, or it provides a really, really easy way for you to go on, see all the information, create a profile so that you can not only very easily submit to my festival, but you can submit to all 15 festivals, which many people are doing, and other film festivals around the world. But Film Freeway is a really terrific resource. But on the website, I've even offered just a downloadable form. I actually had a really, really important submission from a prolific writer that he wasn't on Film Freeway, and so he just mailed me the information there's so many opportunities. So my website has all that information, but also I really encourage everyone to go to the AOF website, which you can just search AOF,
I'll put the
and
links.
it's going to have links to all of the festivals.
Now you're also taking international films, so people in other countries like Germany can submit as well, right? Now, say if they are accepted, and they can't fly out for whatever reason, how are they still in the running to win, or is it something could they do online?
Absolutely.
Okay, so something will be worked out. Okay, so people,
they're definitely,
yeah. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I know we have a little delay.
And we want to. I know. I feel so bad. I don't know. It's probably my fault. Yeah, I have quite a bit of submissions actually from foreign countries. A lot of them are screenplays, but we definitely hope to promote all of those. And then, like I said, I am really, especially with First Frame, in close connection with them. So some of the submissions that I'm getting, then I want to kind of pass on if I think that they're worthy to be ready to be distributed, or a screenplay that has the potential to be produced. I'm working very closely with him, so we really are not just here to, I mean, we want to honor and award and promote, but like I said, we want to get some films made and some films distributed. So
well, that's great. That's wonderful. All right, so I'm gonna put out there, anyone who's watching that's on Zoom, would you like to ask any questions, or do you feel like everything's kind of been answered? Feel free to unmute yourself if you like to. If not, that's okay, because I will be posting this on my YouTube channel, Sophia Luisa's So Zoom. Oh, hi, how you doing?
Hi, I don't really have a question. I just wanted to say how exciting this is to me. And I'm kind of new to the film industry myself, and mostly in the acting arena, but I was just so very excited by what Erin is doing, that I took the only piece that I'd ever written and submitted it just because I wanted to be a part of something so cool. So I just want to say thank you for this and for the interview. It's been so fun to learn more.
Where are you located at?
I'm up in Washington State, actually, in a tiny town called Walla Walla.
Oh, I've heard of Walla Walla.
Have you?
Me too. And actually, it's funny because, Carrie, since we connected, I've already had you in my mind for several roles and opportunities. So I might be actually kind of your agent and submitting you to some acting work. So get ready, because you've already been on my mind for that.
Oh, that blesses me. Thank you. That's wonderful. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time to tell us about this more today, and for connecting with me one-on-one. That was, yeah, very cool the other day to just reach out and have you answer so quickly. It really blessed me.
Well, we hope to see you in Las Vegas.
I mean it when I say that. Yeah. Well, we're actually going to be having some live play. So we're turning some of these screenplays, and we're doing live performances at the festival as well. So those were some of the opportunities specifically that I had you in mind for. But I really hope that you can come, because I can't express enough how much I do want to create these opportunities, real opportunities, like right now for people.
Wow, that's very cool. I have to figure out what to do with my 1-year-old, but that's very cool. I think it'd be very, very fun to actually be there at the festival.
Well, God always finds a way. I mean, he's out there and he will make it happen one way or another. Thank you so much. And yeah, definitely you'll be posted. Hopefully we will see you there one way or another. Now we have Erin. I see that Dell Weston actually just popped on. So Dell, thank you so much for joining us. That's a nice unexpected surprise. If you're new.
I missed the time and I missed half of it, and now I feel silly. I apologize.
Oh, don't apologize. It's never too late for anything, as long as you show up. And we're just saying,
I love your necklace.
oh, my daughter made it.
Beautiful.
I have to say,
I need to buy some more from her.
Well, Deb, we were just saying how wonderful you are by providing so many platforms for people to come out and really have an opportunity to be their authentic creative selves. That's a safe environment, and how you really are creating a new Hollywood, so, and we are just also blessed and excited to be a part of it. And I'm so proud and excited for Erin with Miracle Makers too. So
how come my camera won't come on? Oh, there we go.
We want to see you. It's
Dell. Turning it on. Hey, it's supposed to be. There it goes.
There you are. Hey, Dell.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you so much for joining us. What a nice surprise.
Hey, Dave, it's nice to meet you. And there's Carrie Wilton. And then there's the beautiful Sophia Louisa Lee. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yummy for my tummy.
Okay. Well, we were just one of the things I asked Erin earlier was about old King Cole and how Cole was and how opportunities kind of happen when you least expect them. And I asked if it was going to be premiered at the festival.
Yes.
Oh, will be. Okay.
If Erin says so, it will be.
Erin?
I said,
we shall
stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Because we shall see.
Whatever Erin says.
Well, she looks so hot in that movie. And that trailer you guys put together is absolutely amazing. So
I was shocked at how good it came. I'll be honest. I thought it was going to be a little more frightening than it ended up being. I thought it was good.
That looks great.
A great experience, yeah.
Very exciting. All right, so, but you don't.
And we have. Oh, I just want to Carrie is an upcoming actress. She's new back in. She also submitted a script to me.
Oh, so fantastic. Welcome.
Keep an eye out for her.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's very kind. It's nice to meet you, Carrie. What's your script called? I'll look for it.
It's called Eleanor's Melody.
Eleanor's Melody.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. All right. Eleanor's Melody. Got it. What's it about?
Oops. It is. It's very short. And it is about a tone deaf woman who has a melody stuck in her head and she can't sing it because she's completely tone deaf. And this is kind of plaguing the life out of her. And then one day she walks into a piano store, and the piano tuner, they just connect, and he plays that melody in her head on the piano, and anyway, it sort of evolves from there in 5 pages.
What does it evolve into? Now I'm interested.
Well,
you cut it right before it got interesting.
You have to read it.
I want to read it, but please illuminate.
There is a competition in town for a music competition, and so the two of them get together and collaborate because she has it in her head and he has the ability to kind of draw it out of her and manifest it into sheet music, write it down and record it, and so together they win this little competition.
So where did the idea for the story come from?
So I was brainstorming with my husband, and we were reminiscing about this time in my life when I was before I got married. I was living in kind of a little artist commune up in north of Spokane, Washington, just in the woods. And we were putting on a summer repertory theater in this little tiny town, and we desperately needed a musical. And the rights for the one we wanted fell through at the last minute, and so we got a former friend from college to fly up and put on his musical that he wrote. He wrote this whole musical, and he's tone deaf. So that's kind of where it came from. And I witnessed the process of him singing like these off key, like seemingly random notes to this pianist friend of his, who somehow could figure out what was in his head and turn it into this entire musical. So that kind of silly, funny memory triggered this.
Well, David is also, just to let you know, he's also a genius musician, among other things.
Oh, wow.
Put that out there.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
David, what do you play? Are you a composer or do you play?
I do both.
Fantastic. I'd love to hear some of your stuff, man.
Well, I have several albums released, so
I can't wait, man. That's fantastic.
yeah, I'll drop you the link.
All right, perfect.
See, the AOF family just keeps growing and growing. It's like we all just keep
right in front of your eyes.
right.
That's what it's all about.
So, Carrie, the commune stuff, totally hot. The story and short story, amazing. Want to hear more. The marriage stuff, keep it to yourself. Not as exciting. Great to hear your story. That's fantastic. Don't laugh at that. It'll only encourage me. Don't laugh at that. Sophia, come on, take over your show. Get it out of my hands.
Well, I think this is great because it just goes to prove if you're a writer, be ready to pitch at any minute. You never know what's going to come up. You know, keep those
Exactly right. You had it right on the head. Absolutely.
like know exactly what you want to say, know your story inside and out, and be ready to take action. Because Dal, I have to say, you are the type of man. So you're all about making things happen, you know. And I was telling Erin too, when she met you, it was like just like you guys were old souls who already knew each other, and it's like you just take off running.
You know what it was? She brought me a glass of water on the stage of the show. Because remember the air conditioning went out at the casino at the Rio that year, and so everything was so hot. And like on Friday night, I'm standing there and I'm sweating, and she walks over. I'm like, did she just spit in that water? Because she's handing it to me, man. This show must really suck. And she goes, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, I must have looked like I was ready to stroke out. So she brought me some water. I'm like, that's interesting. And then she brought me a nap. I'm like, okay. And then she did it again the next night with a couple of little things. And I said, man, I'm gonna make this girl a movie. I told her, hey, come here a second. She said, what? I'm gonna put you in a movie. She says, yeah, okay. I said, hey, I'm not kidding you. I'm telling you, I'm not fooling around. And then Old King Cole was born.
Well, just an act of kindness, because she's just naturally kind. She's just naturally nice. Erin,
I don't even know if she told you. She's got another movie coming up in June.
And I'd love to hear about that. What's this all?
It's called Claire's Not Here.
Is that a drama?
It's a drama in 7 acts over one night. It's like a Shakespeare's play, but each room is 10 pages of the screenplay. And you move around with danger and excitement growing at every turn, not knowing what the resolution is going to be until the wife shows up. Hey, this could really be something, man.
Is this going to be showing at AOF Mega Fest?
We're just, our goal is 3 to 5 movies a year, no matter what, 3 to 5 movies a year. And I have an idea and a plan of how we want to do it and what we're doing, and it seems so far to be working out. Okay. And I think we met the right group of people here now to work with and to express ourselves. And so, no matter where it's going, it's meant for the library and then to be exploited worldwide through whatever means we can command.
Right, very exciting. It's like always be doing something. Well, Erin has a pretty full plate right now too, working on a documentary and, talking about her production for a possible TV series, which sounds very exciting. I mean, just what I love about the whole group is like everyone's doing something. It's like you just jump right on it and you just keep that creative fire burning.
You can't say you're a writer if you don't write.
Right?
Exactly.
You can't say you're a director if you don't
Direct.
direct. You can't say you're a musician if you don't muse. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what you say you do. That's what makes you what you say you are.
Exactly. So it's very exciting. Okay, well, Del, since you are on my show with Erin, is there a question or a comment that you'd like to make to Erin?
Well, I have 3 questions for the guest of honor. Question number 1: how do you approach a role? Say that the actor you're working with is method. How do you adjust yourself, or do you, in your preparation for a role?
Man, my preparation, especially for Old King Cole, you saw my my screenplay, my script. You tried to steal it, actually.
I didn't try. I actually stole it.
You did.
I'm trying to do it.
I really, I think as an actor, the thing that has helped me the most is to create the backstory and the history of the character, because if I create these traumatic events that have happened in this character's past, and if I really know the character, and this character has an entire life leading up to this, then I can be in the moment and really interact with the other actors and the other characters organically, because my character has an entire life. I mean, I will write down what happened to that character when they were 3 years old, or because in my own life, all of those little moments, sometimes trauma, sometimes greatest joys, love.
But does that allow? Does that suffice to work with someone who may work in a different method than you? Does your process change?
I think my process changed. I tried to be as prepared as I possibly could coming into this, because I wanted to give you the best performance I could. And then we had some moments where scenes changed completely, and I had to kind of let go of that preparation. And I have a feeling that some of those scenes are going to be the best ones, because you and I were just living in the moment, and there was nothing in my brain but what was happening in that scene right then.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I have to say, I think that's one of the best things about acting, is when you know everything and you just let it go and you're truly in the moment, which, I've been thinking if more people can do that in real life and just truly be in the moment, things would just be so much better for everyone. So I think that's wonderful that you were just able to really allow yourself to let go and just truly be in that moment. And Del, I mean, you were absolutely wonderful in that film too, just from what I saw of you. So you were like totally in the moment, which helped both of you. I mean, with one being in the moment, it helps the other person be in the moment too.
Well, the only reason I look good in the film is because I'm so boring in person. And by being such a complete and total Nimrod as a human being, if I show any spark of life outside of my normal situation, people, oh, he's kind of an interesting guy, but then they get to know me and realize I'm not, and then they never call again. So that's what I'm used to. My second question was, how do you handle intimacy on set now? What is taboo and what's not taboo as you move into this new age for yourself and your career? Because I know that some of the stuff that I'm working on now, some of it has a lot of intimacy in it, and that makes me a little bit nervous because I usually don't know the people I'm working with. And that's a, I don't want to bring anything back to my wife and kids, it's just not my thing. But what is your prep for that? Or is it something that just is off limits to you?
Well, when I was approaching this original role with Old King Cole, and especially from a Christian background. I am a Christian. So, there's a lot of stigma around performing things that maybe cross certain boundaries. But also in certain aspects of my life, or even just dealing with immortality, something kind of clicked in me that was like, one, you only live once, you're only young once. I don't really care what other people think of me. Really, all that matters is my heart, and my heart, I know, is pure. And I think that intimacy, I do think that God is present in every single moment of every single person's life. And he is present in the most intimate, in the most violent, in the worst and the best moments of life. And so I didn't prepare for the intimate moments, because I just figured I would just open my heart up and be intimate. And I think that that's an incredible thing to offer to people. And if people want to judge me for it, that's fine. People are going to judge me no matter what I do.
Or no matter
I don't really care about.
Okay, and my final question is.
Wait, before you do, I want
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want to go back a second. It's like, okay, it's not so much about what people think about you, but is it being true to the story? What is the story that who are it's not so much as I don't want to do this because this is me, but who are you as the character, and how does it play out in the story? Because I think, as a writer, you're creating a whole new world with these people who feel a certain way. And I don't think that actor would, that character would be judgmental of. So if they make love, or they're intimate, how do you do that in a way so, one, you're safe, and two, you're being true to the story, and it's not being exploitive, so I think that's really important too.
It's also an element of the times. My favorite films are the films that were made in the 70s. And that was my era. That's when the films I feel most comfortable with, and the stories that I feel are told the best way. And when cinematography was really being awakened. So for me, that's the style that I followed. Maybe not the storyline, but at least the style. That's how I tell my films. And I noticed that at a certain time, it was just being brave, right? You were making the film the way you wanted. Films like Last Tango in Paris, Midnight Cowboy, things like that, where it was really shocking for what people saw. But if you look at the stuff that's being done now, it's 100% worse than that stuff was. But there's not. It's all gratuitous stuff. It's not like it's part or integral to the story. Right. And so I'm always interested, because I write my scripts as if I was going to live them, even if I'm not going to play in it. And so I figure it this way: if it's in the Bible, it's good for me to cover. That's my mindset. No, and I'm not trying to be facetious at all. I'm just suggesting that is the greatest book that was ever written, the most read book that was ever written. They must have some secret, and I figure what their secret was: just tell the truth in an appropriate way. And so when I write my movies, that's what I'm looking for. But there's a film that's coming up where there's going to be a lot of intimacy in it, because there's this loving couple that's together, and then they're ripped apart. But we don't know whether it's their intimacy that brings them back, their love of one another that brings them back, or just the hatred of and fear of what's outside the familiar. So you get all these different things wrapped as a subplot beneath the regular storyline, and that's what I'm working on now. But it requires that. So, just wondering what her process is. That's all.
All right, your third question.
And my third question is, after having made a couple of feature films, what advice would you give yourself at 19 from where you are right now?
I wish I would have met you, Del, for when I was 19. That's my advice. No. Fear is such a liar. Fear is the enemy, and perfectionism, or just wanting things to be ideal, is such a trap. And to just go for it, to have faith, to believe, and I wish I would have let go of some of that fear and put myself out there. But I also you know, I do think that I was meant to meet you. And I do think that some of the struggles that I went through, or some of the failures or disappointments, that's part of my story too. So I don't really have regrets, because here I am now. And I think it's just the beginning.
Well, that's very kind of you to say.
Mhm.
Erin, you're not too far off from 19, so you still have a lot of years to go.
Yeah, well, what's funny? Writing for you or writing for her is like writing for the same thing. Because when I write for a woman, and most of my stories revolve around women, whenever I write for them, they are always the heroes. And so I write the best of women in my pieces, never the worst of women. And I find that by doing that, I get I get a character so squeaky clean that wherever the male counterpart and whatever issues he's working through in his arc are only magnified and made more dramatic or more powerful or even a bigger resolution when they're resolved by way of comparison between the two. And it seems to be a working formula.
Cool.
Even your part in Cole, where you played the wife, but you played the conscience of the man who must have left her alone long enough to miss him, enough to harm herself. And so you have to understand that it was his weakness and inability to be there for her that led to his demise, and that's what formed the guilt that created the image of you in your return. So it's always from that perspective that I seem to find the best solutions for the problems that vex me when it comes to writing.
And that's what resonates with people, though, because it's something that everyone can relate to. And I think that's what's so powerful about story. And if you think about it, story has been around since day one, but now to be able to tell story visually and adding music and adding, different color visuals, to be part of this collaborative effort to create something that really resonates with people. And so they can remember it, or, find that part within themselves to, either learn or heal or share. So I think that's so beautiful, and Val, your stories are pretty awesome.
We'll see what happens with them. We got 3 movies coming out this year, so
yeah,
we'll see. Right. I hope we can make a nickel or two. I don't see why we can't.
So what was that second film?
Victims is coming out, and then Trick, and then that was my film, and then there's another one that we have been holding on to for a little bit that I think we're gonna let go. And then the new film's called Claire's Not Here.
Claire's Not Here. Okay, so we'll definitely take a look out for that and see the beautiful Erin Miracle up on the big screen, not just once but twice, and hopefully many, many more times. So it's going to be very, very exciting.
If she keeps bringing pizza rolls to the set, she's in as far as I'm concerned. Don't take much from me. I just need to know you're going to show up on time and be ready to do the work. After that, the rest is a bonus.
Right. So it's all good. So, all right. AOF Mega Fest, July 26th through July 31st in Las Vegas.
Through August. Actually, it's August 1st, but that's kind of a secret menu item. We usually do an opening brunch at the beginning of the week. We're moving it to the end, but we're only inviting certain people this year. That's going to be the next morning, but we're not promoting it, just so you know.
All right. So should I plan on leaving August 2nd then?
I think the 1st. It's going to be the morning of the 1st. It's just going to be a private thing. We got a really nice place to go, and we're going to take about 100 people, and we're going to have a beautiful wrap-up breakfast and talk about what we can do better for next season and what was good about this year, and let people rub elbows with a few of the celebrities who show up before they go, and that's going to be the end of it.
Yeah. Did I mention that we're having royalty there even?
Oh, royalty?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have a prince that's going to be honored. I mean,
cool.
It's unbelievable how much this event has to offer.
All right. So if someone wants to take a look-see at what's on the schedule, where can they look? Where's the best place for them to look to see?
Well, for Erin, it's miraclemakersiff.com, miraclemakersiff.com. But for all of Mega Fest, it's actiononfilmfest.com, actiononfilmfest.com. And you can get all the news, information, schedules, and information that's being updated on a regular basis.
and they could submit, and you have 3 awards dinners, correct?
No, there's 6 award dinners this year
Okay,
because we didn't cancel 2020, we just postponed it to 2021. So you
okay,
have the Writers Award shows on Thursday. Then on Friday, you have the short 2020 awards. And then the second show is the feature 2020 awards. And then Saturday short 2020 awards and Saturday feature. And we just added this, the Ernie Reyes celebration, where they're going to be doing a special award show, in another theater, but during our show, as part of our show for the great Ernie Reyes. So that's going to be a nice star-studded event. It'll be a lot of fun too. So,
and for those who do not know who Ernie Reyes is,
Ernie Reyes was like a pioneer of the martial arts who began making movies with Golden Harvest and a few other companies. And he raised a son who went on to be one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And they choreographed shows all over the country. He opened schools all over the world. He was just kind of a nice guy. He was unfortunately struck with cancer earlier in the year, and some of the people wanted to come together and just let them know how much they appreciated him and how much he'd meant to them in their lives. And he's still here. He's under treatment, but we'll have him around to be able to honor him and so people can know what he meant to them.
beautiful. See, this is, I love this about you. I mean, you do stuff for people because you care about people.
Well, shouldn't we care for one another? I'm so tired of going places
Exactly.
someone trying to rip somebody off. It's a funny thing. Everybody I know now, I don't know what happened. I must have gotten old. But everybody I know now that's around me, I'm absolutely in love with. And it was hard to say that because 3 weeks ago, we had a problem client who I really liked. And we'd done some great work for. And, we had a talk on the phone and I said, it's better if you and I never even speak again. And I don't think that he understood why, but I made the point very clear. And, I had to make sure it was known. I don't even want you near the circle of people that I love because I don't think you're going to treat them right. And that was my big issue with him. And he still doesn't get it, but I don't really care. That's why I can talk about it. But I can honestly say that everybody I know right now who I'm talking to, working with, engaged with, is man or child, woman or beast. And if you're around me, I'm in love with you. And I think that's the very first time that I'm able to say that and understand that if I pick up the phone and call Erin, not only do I know she's going to answer, but she will be saying yes before I ask my question. And I want everyone around me in that same energy because I will do that too. And you've met Dr. Goldman, Sophia, and he's kind of adopted us a little bit. And he was so kind. He called me earlier in the year. I was trying to raise money to leverage the Susan Stafford libraries from the Dick Enright shows from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And he called me with a piece of advice. But one thing he told me, which really got me, was he said, I really don't care about your dopey business, but I love your family. And if there's anything your family ever needs, you call me first. And so that's just one of those things where this is a guy who I barely knew a couple of years ago, but there's a synergy and a resonance between people who are serious and want to get things done. And more than that, they desire to get things done as a need. And I think that's the group of people I'm with now. And while I don't call them my tribe because they're civilized, I do say that I've got a pretty good group of people around me who I love with my whole heart and soul. And you're one of those people, so you understand what that means.
Yeah, I think scripture talks about how when you're connected to the vine, it bears fruit. And if you are to just work backwards and look at the fruit that comes from Dell, from everyone really involved in this, we're just bursting with life. And so that's the evidence and the proof that all you need really is just to see that these aren't empty words or empty promises.
Yeah, that's funny. That's where the modern army of God came from. Like, I'm not smart enough to come up with that. And we're sitting here in the house, we're having a little prayer meeting, and the words hit me, modern army of God, modern army of God. I said, what's that? And I'm just listening, and everybody's doing their talks, and and the words come to me, it's a website, now go build it. I didn't know what that was. But today it exists, modernarmyofgod.com. It's going to be the biggest prayer site in the history of the world. I have very little to do with it. I was only told to create it, so I put it up. You know, when I saw Donnie Boaz from Young and the Restless go put a prayer up, I'm like, man, we're going to make it. And it wasn't because it was Donnie Boaz or he was a television star or any of that. It was that this guy's prayer is so real and beautiful and meaningful. And if you look at each person, you know, every time you click on one of those prayers, you're repraying that prayer. I mean, we're going to fill the internet with praise, not with hatred and tweets and Facebook, you know, disgusting behavior.
Yep.
We're changing that. So, hey, if it happens this year when I'm here, great. If it happens 20 years after I'm dead, I don't care. I was told to start this part, so that's what I did. And I feel that's the way we have to be with everything. You know, do your part.
Good.
Just do your part.
You know, from the heart, filled with love and passion for what you're doing.
I'm sorry, Carrie and David, I should keep my mouth shut.
Don't. I'm misting up because
That's quite all
you
right.
all are the people I've been looking for.
Yeah.
My second ex-wife said that. I found her out about a week later. Be careful.
I want to be the person that finds the people that are looking for that. I want, that's been given to me because Adele, and I know that pain, and I know that struggle, and I know that disappointment, and now you're gonna make me all emotional.
Sorry.
I want to see people and notice them and pour all that back into others more than I can explain. Because
I mean, just imagine if you did that at their behest, right? So it wasn't like you were forcing yourself onto a person's wants or needs or desires, because many times people just voice what they're saying just so they can hear it come out of their heads, but they have no intention of doing it. So you have to leave them alone, right? But at a certain point, you see people say, man, this is really a struggle. Is there a better way? Is there a faster way? Is there a safer way? And then they meet someone like our little group, and before you know it, the problems aren't problems anymore. You know, and that's, and you know, someone called, you know, it's a very funny thing. You know, you remember all of you, both of you know Ashley Reuter, right?
oh yeah.
So about 8 months ago, she met me at Starbucks and she was really upset. And I said, what's wrong, sweetie? And she said, I've got a friend, he's a vet, he's suicidal, he's got a small daughter, he's gonna kill himself, and it doesn't look good for the child, blah, 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 he's drinking. I said, well, hang on a second. And I said, well, can you give me his number? So she gave me his number and his email, because I happen to know someone who works high up in the government for armed services, and then I know a guy who's an advocate for the vets, right? So I didn't hear anything. I made 2 phone calls and I sent 2 emails, and that was 8 months ago. So tonight I came home and I opened an email from the great Mike Pick, Sergeant Master Mike Pick. And it says, just to let you know about your friend, he's in Washington with his daughter. They are safe. He got 80% of his benefits and full medical. They are on the road to recover. Boom, boom, boom. So I sent the letter to Ashley so she could see it, because she had a rough day. So she called me crying saying, did I just save a life? I said, no, you saved 2 lives, and also the lives of that child and her children. And she's like, she was overwhelmed by that. But I'm like, yeah, this is easy. It didn't require me to go, you know, shovel coal. It required that you have a little concern, you bring it to me. I just happen to know who to call, because that's how the thing works. And then the problem gets solved. But if she just bought that guy and his daughter an extra month of life, can you imagine? And now to hear 8 months later, you know, that he's on the mend and he's doing better and it's going to be okay. And man, that's pretty overwhelming. So why don't we enjoy that as much as we hear about some celebrity getting smacked out in a prostitute's house, you know, over a porn fetish? I mean, which one would you rather hear? And which one would you rather be involved in? Don't you answer, Erin, because I know what you're going to say and you're going to ruin my moment.
I think it's so great that you, Del, and you, Erin, you're allowing yourselves to be conduits for God to work through you. To put
Well, Annabelle's in the middle of this. You know, Teresa's in the middle of this.
Your
It's,
whole family, AOF family,
it's funny. It's like Rachel Scott on ABC News. She credits us with her news career only because we took her in at a very young age and coached her on camera interviews, and she's been grateful ever since. But that's, I got 100 of these stories. It's not just one person or two. This has been going on a long time.
Dell has the most unbelievable, endless amount of stories about you just can't even believe it. And then when you decide to believe it, then it's just like one miracle after another after another.
If my second ex-wife tells you not to believe them, then don't listen to her. She's just bitter. None of this stuff is true. You got to know that.
So, well, it sounds like you have your own chicken book, or with Chicken Soup of the Soul type book, with all this.
I'm actually working on. I've been studying everybody for the last almost 40 years, from Edgar Casey to Nightingale Conant, Tony Robbins, all of them, Napoleon Hill. And I've been studying them in depth, and I've come up with a program that I think will help people. And 3 years ago, I began testing it at AOF without saying anything. And it's a seminar called Get It Done, Make Your Film Now. And I can count by the number of people in my seminars who made films after the seminar versus the ones who did not previous to me teaching that seminar. Was like out of 60 people each time, 20 people made a film within a year.
Wow.
That's a pretty good, and they're happy about it. So
that's good.
That program is working, but I've been slowly integrating it into what I teach when I do seminars. And there's a certain thing to be said for proper motivation and understanding human nature. Because once you understand why people do things, you can motivate them to do great things for themselves and others.
Now, is that something you're going to be teaching or offering at AOF?
I don't know. I've taught before. I've done a lot of seminars before. I used to teach a class in publishing comic books of all things, and story and creation. And I teach people how to write a screenplay in 15 minutes. A lot of people think it's 15 minutes if you'll just use your head, but they have to understand how to do it. And I have fun teaching it all. But then again, I expect to be taught as well. So I love learning as much. And I learn from everybody I'm involved with.
Right.
I learned from Erin that I can't do ballet very well. That's what I learned. I'm standing there. I got the tutu on. I've got the ballet shoes. My shirt's a little ripped, so it didn't go all the way over my stomach, but I still felt good. And then she says "paso doble," and I'm saying, "Wait a minute, isn't that a term for like a different kind of dance, like a cha-cha or something?" And she says it again, and she hits me with this little stick. I trip over the bar. I hit the mirror breaks. I'm sitting there in the glass, and I don't get cut. And I'm like, "Can we just stop for the day?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm hungry anyway." And she leaves me there. So I learned that I'm not good at ballet. True story.
Did you catch on the camera?
No. Just her smirks and grimaces in her own phone as she checked her makeup. That's the only reflections we saw that day.
That has to end up in the script somehow. Anyway, that's awesome. Well, all of you, Del, I'm so grateful that you joined us. Thank you so very much. And
I'm
Erin,
sorry I hijacked your show. I'm sorry.
No, thank you.
And Erin, you are absolutely wonderful, and I'm so proud of you. And you are such an inspiration. You just keep on doing what you're doing and don't stop. And I love that you are both conduits for letting God work through you to inspire people as well as be inspired yourself. So
hey, can you make sure that Carrie and David get free waivers from me, Erin?
Yeah.
AOF for being on the
Absolutely.
show with Sophia. That's their gift for coming on the show.
Well, thank you.
That way I can see both their work and hear their words and listen to what they do.
that would be awesome.
And I just want to say thank you, Sophia Luisa, for what you do, because you are inspiring, you are beautiful, and you are creating incredible work. And you're exactly the kind of person that I also want to honor at my fest. And I'm so grateful that you invited me on here. And you were just so incredible to work with. Well, I didn't really get to work with you, but I got to observe you acting with Del, and I think that you were one of the cherries on top in that movie. It was just like, the movie just was like so good in so many ways, and then you came in that character, and it was just like, oh my gosh, this is almost too much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Well, just a little secret, I am working on a short film, and I will submit to your festival.
I love it, love it, love it.
You know, and what's so great about today too?
Well, and if you need an actress, I have one to recommend.
Well, I have to say, you know, it's
Carrie.
about today is, you know, with technology being the way it is, you don't need the big camera. You know, you get, you know, you can have 4K on your phone. You know, and so, you know, just focus on a, you know, nice little story that grabs people. So I think I came up with something and, you know, got a support. So it's like, hey.
That's you know, that's so fantastic. It's not the medium you're shooting on, it's the story you're telling. And I will go to my grave believing that. You know, it was funny. Erin called it. I called Erin today and I said, hey, I want you to talk to somebody. And the guy I put her on the phone with was an Academy Award winning producer, right? So I wanted him to meet her because they're going to meet at the festival. And I'm trying to put her in his face already because he's got 3 big projects coming up. I mean, really big projects he's working on. And I'm like, I'm just pushing the people I know to try and get them involved in any way. And it was so nice to be able to do that, right? And that's just something we can just, you know, push in there. But the reason I brought him up was that they're allowing me to do a couple of pitches. And I'm telling you, I do these far out 70-page pitch decks with all this stuff in it. And it was so nice to finally be able to pitch to somebody who'll be able to appreciate that kind of work, you know? So they're big budget things, but we're pushing it through the door. And I'll tell you, it doesn't matter what the medium is. Get your story on that front page and sell that story. If it even is an iPhone or you're drawing it on paper like an animation, you know, the most important thing is to get it done.
And like the question you asked me, Del, you know, what would I have done differently? And what I want to just encourage people, you know, just trust and have faith and put it out there. And let it bless the world, and things happen through work it doesn't have to be the biggest, showiest, fanciest thing.
It doesn't.
Just bless others with what you've created, and don't second guess yourself.
Have that confidence. Exactly. It's all about the confidence.
Absolutely true.
And a little faith. Have a little faith in miracles and just see what happens.
Just do it.
Exactly. Just do it.
Yeah.
Do you know where that slogan came from?
Where?
Just do it. There was a guy on death row in Texas, and they've been trying to get him trying to get him a stay of execution, and he'd grown tired of the process. Yep. So finally they got him in the room and they're like, hey, do you want a final meal? He goes, listen, just do it. Yep. And Nike read that in a newspaper article about his guy's death in the 70s or 60s, and they co-opted the slogan, just do it, and that's on all their shoes. And what it really was meant about was a guy who was being killed. He just wanted to pay for his crimes. So when you put on a pair of Nike shoes, just remember you're part of a plea deal. That's all I'm going to say. I got nothing else to say.
Well,
Yep, it's quite a story.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Well, I think you are all very awesome. So thank you so very much for joining me.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you too.
And Erin, you're awesome. I'm just so proud of you. And Corey and David, thank you for joining in. And there are a couple of others who had to step out early, but I just really appreciate this. This is something new. I'm allowing people to do this live.
I think that's great.
And
I like it. It's very good. Keep it up.
Thank you so much. Just mixing it up a little bit. And we will see you guys in Vegas, AOF Mega Fest, Miracle Makers. Woohoo! There are a total of 15 film festivals worth checking out. Go to, oh my gosh, AOF.
Actiononfilmfest.com. Actiononfilmfest.com.
And you can see all of the different festivals, submit to all of them. There's so many opportunities to get out there, become part of the AOF family.
Or just come to the seminars and educate yourself.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with just coming in and sitting down and meeting people and educating yourself and starting your career by meeting people who can actually help you. You know, I got my very first $1 million show from a guy who I met and did a favor for someone, and he happened to be there. He's like, who are you? I said, he goes, you're a nice guy. Within 2 years, he had me a job for $1 million for a project.
Right.
And that was just, just being nice and being decent.
Yep. Good.
It just takes one.
I mean, I had to kiss him a couple of times, but that's a whole different.
Just
Don't do that again.
Surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. I'm telling you, I thought it would be worse.
We're all about integrity, creativity.
No, I think it's about the position of the head in reference to height. I think that's what really made the difference. I mean, I was blindfolded, so I couldn't see everything, but I kind of knew where I was spatially.
We need to put you in a comedy. I think it's the time for comedy for Del.
The sad part of this is I'll cry about that story later. You see how funny that story is, Sophia. Thank you for nothing.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so very much for joining me on So Zoom In. I will also be posting this on my YouTube channel, Sophia Luisa's So Zoom In. I look forward to zooming in on all of you guys.
Love your show and love you.
So very much.
yes.
Thank you. Mwah, Del. Thank
Good
you.
work.
Corey. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Until the next time. Okay.
My wings are flying to you, my heart. Bye.
So much, guys. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Take care.